time to call our meeting to order. It's Monday, February the 12th. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you for being here tonight. We're going to have the invocation at this time. Councilman Butler.
Let us pray. Lord, we praise your holy name. We thank you for the many blessings that you have given us. Give us wisdom as we seek to do the work of this county and for our citizens, and in everything that we say and everything that we do. May we always praise you. Amen.
Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 8th, 18th, 22nd, 29th, and 30th of 2018. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
We'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
And District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes also. Are there any reports of county officials?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to say I'm happy to see this many people come to the county council meeting. This is good.
I just want to say thank you to all the organizations that came out as part of the ATAX funding work session, and thank you for all you do for Saluda County.
And I would like to add, I noticed that the Piedmont Agency Council on Aging is looking for volunteers, and that is this group over here where our senior citizens gather, but they have been looking for volunteers if any of you are interested in doing that kind of thing.
Again, thank you for being here tonight. I know everybody's here for different reasons, but it's awesome to see people show up to the county council meeting. I've made this statement several times. A lot of people say, well, we can vote you out the next time, but that's not holding us accountable for what you elect us for. The way you do that is by showing up to these meetings and staying informed of what's going on. So thank you for being here tonight. All right, open up for a public hearing on ordinance number 17-17, an ordinance authorizing pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 44 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, as amended, the execution and delivery of a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes agreement by and between Saluda County, South Carolina, and Catalina Solar LLC as sponsor, and one or more sponsor affiliates to provide for a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes, incentive, and certain special source revenue credits, to provide for the inclusion of the project in a multi-county business or industrial park and other related matters. And at this time, I'd like to recognize Mr. Ed Park.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the council. This is Project Catalina, which you've been briefed previously. Project Catalina is a 75 megawatt solar farm that is proposed for a site on 390 acres off of Topaz Road in Saluda County. What is being requested by the company through their attorneys is the approval and execution of the fee in lieu of taxes agreement. That fee in lieu agreement would run for 40 years at an assessment ratio of 6%, and with a SSRC, or special source revenue credit, that would even the tax payment to $150,000 per year for the next 40 years. That $150,000 per year, of course, is to be split between the county and the other taxing jurisdictions, as would regularly be on like your property tax. This particular project is located in the Batesburg School District. The Batesburg School District in itself has a millage of 342.6 mills. so that the total millage on this fee agreement would be 490.2 mills. The school district in this case would receive approximately 70% of the revenue coming from the project, and leaving them with about a estimated payment of $105,000 per year, such that the county portion is expected to be roughly $45,000 per year. Had this project been located in another school district, for example, in Saluda, just to give you an idea, the Saluda school millage is 182.5 mils rather than the 342.6. So that's a pretty substantial difference, between the two. I had erroneously reported from the preliminary documents that I received initially that I anticipated revenue to be at $65,000. That was based on it being located in the school district of Saluda. It's within several hundred, about a quarter of a mile located in the district. So I would recommend to you, this is a good opportunity for the county. I think I had stated that the amount of revenue that the county is receiving currently, as it's used and classified currently in ag use, is less than $1,000 per year. So it's a substantial net gain for the county. And the other thing I would say, projects such as this, there is no stress on the infrastructure, of the county. There are no requirements for water, sewer, roads, matters such as that, as well as projects of this type don't have, there's a positive and negative. It has minimal full-time employees. However, there will be a sizable amount of construction activity, construction employees there. So it doesn't, I say that on the pro and con by, the number of employees. It doesn't have any impact whatsoever on the school system or any other services that, that the county would be required to offer. So it's kind of a total net positive, for the county. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I don't believe I have. It's very similar to the ones we passed in the past.
It is.
It's just a kind of continuation.
It is. The only difference between this and Solar 1 and Solar 2 that you did previously, those were 6.5 meg and 10 meg facilities. This one's about 7 or 8 times that. And the other difference, again, was the other two were located in school district, Saluda district, and so a portion of the taxes between the county and the school district was much smaller.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak here for the public hearing on the Catalina project?
I would. Is it in it wasn't in the land solely in Saluda County where it would just be all come to Saluda district, school district too? Did we, you know what I'm saying? Seems like Batesburg's reaping the benefit and we getting the crumbs. That's how I'm getting the picture. I mean, did we check all lands? I don't know, how did we come up with getting that land?
The company selected that site and came to the county. The other thing, while there's lots of land, of course, in Saluda County, and I have been contacted by several people interested in having a solar farm. The one thing that's really overriding there is the transmission system, which in these particular solar farms, all the electricity generated is sold directly onto the grid. so that the power line, transmission line has to be on site.
And our share went from last meeting to this meeting, went from 65
To
to
45.
45.
That's correct.
So we lost 25, okay.
I would say we gained
Clear.
45.
Thank you.
Actually, I think that was a good question that you asked there, because I think a lot of the public doesn't realize that when these companies come to us, a lot of times they select the site before they ever come to us. So that's a very valid question you asked there.
Yeah, because if it was up to us, we would make sure they were all in our districts, for sure.
Well, as long as we're trying to persuade them to our district, that's all that I'm.
Right. Absolutely. Anyone else? This time we're going to close the public hearing. Now we have a couple of public presentations. At this time, I'd like to recognize Mr. Keith Hall for a presentation of the Saluda Nursing Center.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the invitation to be able to present the annual report of Saluda Nursing Center. And I have provided an executive summary with some brief highlights. And I'd like to turn your attention to the financial report itself on page 24, which indicates an actual net profit of $1,294,267 for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2017. This in opposition to a loss of $475,394 the previous fiscal year. I would add that there are a couple of major reasons for this change, and I will highlight those. If you look at Exhibit A, which is what we call the dashboard, and I present this to the board each month, it has a whole bunch of census figures on the dashboard from various payer sources that we receive monetary payment from, including Blue Cross, other insurance, managed care, Medicaid, Medicare Part A, private pay, and Veterans Administration. And going across, it shows the number of days of payments in each of those categories. Going down the page, you can see the comparison from 2015 to 2016 to 2017. In a nutshell, there were approximately 3,400 additional census days, yielding approximately $1 million in additional revenue. That's where the bulk of our gains came from in filling the facility to capacity. In fact, in December of 2017, we ran an average daily census of 175 out of 176 beds. So in many cases, that means somebody moves out, goes home after a successful rehab stay, and somebody else is moving in the next day. So the turnover, there's a lot that goes into preparation and taking care of that and making sure that happens in a coordinated fashion, and I'd like to give credit to my staff for the hard work they put in to make sure things run smoothly. That 3,400 days, as I mentioned, was the bulk of our additional revenue. We also made another major change during fiscal year 2017 in that we changed pharmacies. We had previously been with Long's Pharmacy for many years, and after much study and due diligence over the course of several months, including myself and the nurse managers, there was about 7 of us that evaluated 4 different pharmaceutical companies that can supply the drugs that we use and dispense to our residents to keep them healthy. This is a huge portion of our budget, as the facility is responsible for paying for all pharmaceuticals that are given to Medicare Part A patients. So it's an important consideration. Not only that, but Medicaid as a state payer, we need to be fiscally responsible and try to find the best deal for our state partners as well. So that change and a method change, which prior to that change, we were using what was called blister packs, where they come in a pack with a bubble and you pop the pills out. It's very time consuming. In this changeover, we went to something called roll packaging. They come multiple pills in a dose plastic pouch, and you just tear the pouch and you can dispense all the pills at one time. Saves a lot of time for the nurses, and they're able to spend more bedside time with residents and more time doing charting and paying attention to other important things besides just passing pills. So that pharmacy change resulted in an additional savings of about $90,000 for last fiscal year, and will result in about $180,000 savings for this current fiscal year. We also had to do something that we weren't very excited about, but the defined benefit plan was creating a chokehold on the finances of the facility, and we were forced to freeze that plan because our liability was approaching $800,000 in cash payment to Principal Financial Group to maintain that plan for last year. $800,000 just for maintaining the defined benefit plan. As you may be aware, defined benefit plans have just about gone the way of the dinosaurs, and we needed to make some changes in order to prevent some huge catastrophic financial issues down the road. The change decreased our net pension liability in half to $2.2 million from over $4.4 million, and it resulted in additional savings of almost $720,000 for last fiscal year. Because we did that, the board decided that we should be able to give something back to the employees as a result of the savings that we were going to take. And what we did was we set up a matching 403B, and every employee that participates in the matching is reimbursed 3%, up to 3% of their annual wages, dollar for dollar. So that's 100% on their money, on 3% of their wages. So we figure that that actually will end up costing the facility somewhere in the neighborhood of $150,000 this coming year. But because we saved what we did last year, we felt that we should do something extra for the employees. And that was decided by the board last year. We will also see additional savings in 2018 from the defined benefit plan, so those savings will continue. We also paid off an FHA construction loan. That bond was a little over $7,500 per month, so at least part of the facility is now paid off, and within the next 10, depending on what loan you're talking about, in the next 10 to 15 years, we should have the facility paid off. I will just mention one thing relative to that. It'll be a happy day when we can burn the mortgage, but the facility celebrates its 50th year this year. So there's a lot of infrastructure that we are replacing, a lot of deferred maintenance that we are doing. We spent almost $500,000 in repairs this past year and on deferred maintenance. So what I'm saying is, at some point down the road, in the next dozen years or so, we really need to be thinking about building a new facility. This one is approaching its maximum physical life, and it's going to be functionally obsolescence, reach its functional obsolescence in the near future. We also completely updated our policy and procedure manuals, some of which were 30 years old, and those have been completely up to date, getting in line with all the new regulations that have come down the pike in the last year. And as a result of the savings, we were able to have on hand 18% of operating expenses, or we're able to carry the facility for 69 operating days from 36 operating days last year. So our cash position has resulted in a very positive move towards being able to operate the facility in case of a setback that might impact as a result of disaster or loss of residence for any reason. And we're not quite where I would like the facility to be in that regards. I would like to see us somewhere up at least 120 days, and we're moving in that direction. Couple of final notes, and that is if you go out to cms.gov, nursing home compare, I believe the exact address is cms.gov/nursing home compare. You can look up Saluda Nursing Center, and you will see that we currently enjoy a 5-star rating, which is the highest rating given by CMS. Only 10% to 12% of the facilities in the country enjoy that status. So we're very happy and humbled to be a part of that group. And again, the credit goes to my staff for all the hard work that they do. As a result of their hard work, we were able to go ahead and give all the employees what amounts to a 4% increase this year, effective immediately, as well as the 403B benefit that they can participate in. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to entertain those. I also have Stephen Spire, our Chief Financial Officer, with me, and he has been helping us keep everything straight, so my thanks to him too.
I don't have any questions, but I am very encouraged by the report and for the hard work that you all do and the employees out there, and my goodness, it's very encouraging.
Well, look for our celebration announcements. 50 years is a big deal, and we're going to have some fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Keith. Congratulations to Saluda Nursing Home on 50 years. That's awesome. It really is. All right, next I'd like to recognize Ms. Jacqueline Reinhardt for a presentation on littering on roadways in Saluda County. She's not here. Okay. All right. We're going to move right on into the old business that we have. I would like to entertain a motion for the third reading on ordinance number 17-17, an ordinance authorizing pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 44 of the Code of Laws of South Carolina, 1976, as amended, the execution and delivery of fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes agreement by and between Saluda County, South Carolina, and Catalina Solar LLC as sponsor, and one or more sponsors' affiliates to provide for fee in lieu of an ad valorem taxes incentive and certain special source revenue credit, to provide for the inclusion of the project in a multi-county business or industrial park and other related matters. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote at this time. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes also. All right, at this time, we're going to move into our new business. I'd like to recognize IT Director Mitchell Neese to present the CenturyLink phone system quote.
Good evening. You all have in your packet the quote, and the description of the equipment that CenturyLink is quoted on. Our current phone system no longer exists. It has passed away and is headed for scrap pile. In the meantime, until we can get something new, CenturyLink has brought in a used system, and we're at about 80% functional right now, but that should keep us at least moving until we can get something to replace what we had. Not only are we getting the system back up, but we're upgrading it, and we will have the ability to combine all of the major facilities that we have into one phone system, which will make it easier. Just dial a 4-digit code. Don't have to dial out and back in to get to the building codes or detention center or any of that. We'll all be on one centralized system. And we will also have redundancy in it. So if one, we'll have 3 registration points for phones. If one goes out, the other 2 pick up that load so they can continue to function. It will require replacing the phones that we currently have, with the exception of 4 or 5. So the brand new phones and the system installed by CenturyLink. Now, go on and on telling you why we need this, but it's pretty evident.
You don't have to, so any of us who have dealt with the phone system for the past, what, 3 months?
Correct.
Then,
You know if we're getting the resale costs back for the phones we currently have, or are they pretty much obsolete?
Obsolete. Let me back up, there are a few that what we're gonna do is keep as spares, but, I mean, it's 4 or 5.
What's the life expectancy of this current system?
15 years.
15 years. All right. So it's a 3-year agreement, which we've got right here. It's a lease agreement. What happens at the end of the lease agreement? Do we own it, or do we renew another lease agreement?
For $1, we own it.
For $1, we own it. Okay. And at that point, then basically we're purchasing the system in yearly installments.
Correct.
Okay.
And we will have the option at the end of the 3 years to continue purchasing maintenance and service on it.
Okay. So I imagine a lot of this cost is the upfront equipment cost that's spread out over multiple years.
Correct. And we will be utilizing some of the equipment that we have in place now, which help reduce the cost. When the engineer came out and evaluated our current system, they said that there were a few components at the jail and at the sheriff's office that we could utilize. But the majority of everything else will be replaced. And this will also include the detention center on the same phone system, where currently they're on a separate one, which, by the way, is a loaner system from the phone company.
Okay. I've noticed it said that our IT infrastructure needs to be capable of meeting the requirements of this phone system. Is it fully capable right now, or will there be in additions that your department will have to implement?
We're capable right now. We just need to make a few more routing changes for the VLAN. But we've tested the phone at every location and it will work.
Mitch, as I always say, will it move us into the 21st century?
Yes.
I believe I was actually there the day, came into the courthouse the day that the old system gave up the ghost, I guess you'd say. And I know there was one young lady there that had to transfer all the calls all over the county. So I know they will be very much appreciative of a new system. And even, I don't know if everyone knows, but even with the system that's up and running now at the courthouse, those calls only come to one phone here because of the way we're set up right now.
Right. We have analog, digital, and IP phones spread out across the county. And once this is done, then we'll have one voice over IP telephone system.
It is VoIP.
how long will it take to implement this?
they're estimating from the time they get the contract back that it would take about 2 months to complete it. Because they have to order the equipment, and that's gonna take a couple of weeks. And then scheduling, they're gonna have to move some phone lines around on their end to make it all work. So it's gonna take a little while. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you, Mitchell.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the CenturyLink IP Office Servers Edition phone system for a lease term of 3 years at a monthly cost of $2,804.67, excluding sales tax, to be paid for the public buildings maintenance service contract account of the operating budgets. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on this? Everyone satisfied? Okay. Well, we'll call for a vote at this time. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes also. All right, at this time, I'd like to recognize the Assistant Emergency Management Director, Jill Warren, to present the consideration of Victim of Crime Act VOCA grant request.
This is a grant request coming from the Victims Advocate Office. We would like to request Victims of Crime Act grant funds to purchase a new desktop computer for her office, a new laptop computer. That goes out to schools, churches, to different organizations and does presentations, and some brochures on victim of crime. And the total of all that, the desktop computer would be $700, the laptop $1,400, and the brochures $450 for a total of $2,550. And then the county would be responsible for a 20% match of $510.
Any other questions for Jill?
I don't have any. I just want to say, Melinda, we appreciate everything that you do over there. I know that you have a very difficult job.
And this isn't really a question, but I'd ask Mitchell just kind of to state it. I'd asked Mitchell why you were asking for a laptop and a desktop instead of just using a laptop to go multiple places, but he advised me that when you're not in the office, there are others that use your desktop when you're not there. So with that being said, I have no problem with moving forward.
Thank you, Jill. All right. Entertain a motion at this time to authorize Assistant Emergency Management Director to proceed with the Victims of Crime Act VOCA grant application for a desktop computer, a laptop computer, and brochures for the Victims Advocate in the amount of $2,550 with a 20% required match of $510 to be paid from contingency. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? If not, we'll call for a vote at this time. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes also. At this time, I'd like to recognize Recreation Director Paul Erble to request funds for maintenance on ball fields at Saluda County Recreation Complex.
How you doing? I'm here to ask for $2,500 for work on the fields. This would be summer style. We have to do every 2 years anyway, but in this process would be removing the pitching mounds. I've already purchased 2 pitching mounds that was included in my budget. So by going with no mounds and using portable mounds, we'll be creating one field where we can play coaches pitch, minors, ozone, and softball on one field. So basically one field could turn into 4 fields. and then the other one's 4 fields, and the same. So basically, you could have between 8 and 12 fields combined into one, where with the dirt mounds, say on Monday night, you have minor games, you don't have ozone, so that field sits empty. Why does it sit empty? Because the mounds are set at 50 foot, only ozone could play on them. So, that's basically where we are to try to get through our situation since we hadn't had no progress with the new field. So that's just kind of where we are. It's gonna help it out tremendously. Cause other way you're gonna play Monday through Saturday, and I'm not. That's just too much, even for me. And that's not. This won't help with the practice problems that we're gonna have after today's completion assignments today. So we will have to definitely next week look into that.
How many do you have sign up total? Do you?
I think we're over 300 right now.
Wow. Wow.
And like I said, that won't help with our practice facility. So we're gonna have to look into either purchase, lease, or something with Hollywood and Saluda JC just to, and DJ knows you got to practice more than 1 hour a week to be competitive. And once season starts, them fields will be played on nightly.
Right.
So, and like I said, the portals have already been purchased. So, I mean, that money, I won't be coming back next week asking for portable money. It's already purchased.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I hate to see those mounds go. I think it takes away some of the baseball feel
Yeah.
of the area. But I like what you're doing by making the most of limited resources.
And we had if we would have had a new field in the outfit, we could have kept it like that because I could have put the 6 coach pitch teams on the new field. But we just don't have a choice.
Thanks for being creative.
Yeah, I know a lot of this is kind of on us because we kind of threw that monkey wrench in when we didn't renew the lease with the Hollywood field, and so I know it's been a long time coming. We haven't really been helping you in the fields and stuff. So.
Anyone else have any questions for Paul?
Do a good job. I don't know if anyone realizes it, but how much has it grown? How many more, say, from 6 years ago to now?
I don't know, at least 100 probably.
It's gotten very
Maybe
good.
more.
Yeah, it's very
It's a
dynamic.
hot commodity right now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You do a great job.
Thank you, Paul. So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the quote from Wilson and Associates Sports Turf in the amount of $2,500 to be paid from contingency for the preparation and maintenance of ball fields at the Saluda County Recreation Complex. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes also. At this time, I would like to recognize probate judge Brenda Griffith for the request for a new scanner in the probate court.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here to request the purchase of a new scanner in the probate court. The one that Kayla, and Kayla is my newest employee, and she's my clerk, is using, was purchased in or around 2008. We keep cleaning the rollers, but the papers get jammed when you feed the documents through the scanner. Some of our documents are being damaged in the scanner. Kayla has to constantly feed one page at a time, and this takes more time for her to complete the task. Before the scanner started messing up, we were able to scan multiple pages, and some of our wheels are, they add up to 15 pages or more. My office scans every document that comes into the office to the file it belongs to. We scan all of our probate estates, all of our guardianships, our conservatorships, and any and all correspondence that is prepared in my office. excuse me, the figure that was given to me for the purchase of a new scanner was $736. I believe the scanner could be purchased for less money, but it has to be compatible with our software. And I would appreciate your serious consideration for the purchase of this necessary piece of equipment. Any questions?
I will say that I came by today to
Yes, sir.
check out what you were talking about, and it would definitely be a positive thing with the scanner being from 2008, I believe it was. I know that asking questions today, there's some old documents there that they do have to scan, and we sure would hate for a scanner to eat up those documents that can't be replaced.
The original documents too.
Do you know the name of the brand of the scanner that you will be getting?
No, I think, DJ maybe has some information, and I think Mitchell, between Mitchell and DJ,
Yeah, we spoke back and forth a little bit on the
Yeah,
email. I'm not
email.
exactly sure of the brand of it, but Mitchell assured me that whatever's being asked for is what's needed.
Yes, when we purchased one for the other person in the office a little over a year ago, I think it
Yeah.
was. We actually purchased two. We purchased one and it would not work with the software. So I contacted the software company, and they gave me three choices of machines that would work. And of the three, we got the cheapest one. And it is more expensive than what you can go buy off the shelf, but it was not compatible with the software that they utilize.
Yeah, and I'll say, I know y'all need it, and I've seen what you scan in. Have y'all stopped the microfilm yet?
we have
Yeah.
stopped the microfilm.
And I guess my question with that is, do y'all have the capability with your software to back scan? Kind of following what Derek said, you have the historical documents. Can you back scan?
We would have to need new software.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm checking into, I've been talking to Icon about that.
And I hate we have to bring you in front of council to ask for a scanner. We're kind of in a transition process
I
where we're
understand.
trying to figure out how to proceed. I know it's kind of petty to bring you up here for a scanner, but hey, that's where we're at.
Any other questions, Ms. Brown? Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I would like to entertain a motion to purchase a software-compatible scanner in the amount of $736 to be paid from contingency for probate court. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? At this time, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes also. All right, at this time, we'd like to recognize Jail Administrator Janice Ergel for the request of a new printer at the Saluda County Detention Center.
Good afternoon. As you have in your packet, I have, we sent a letter requesting a replacement printer in the training office. We gave it great thought to give many justifications on why we do need this printer to be replaced in that office. We have two ladies in there that does our training in the training department, which conducts classification duties, disciplinary processes, inmate process hearing, National Crime Information Center information, which is very confidential from NCIC, reports that have to be ran and within a timely manner without delay. And we do have a copier right next to that office. But with that being said, it's in the judge's office. It is our multi-purpose room that does not have a camera. We have attorneys that come, they can have a camera in the room. The judges cannot. Interviews take place in there. We have many people, probation hearings take place in there. Because this happens all during the business hours of a busy day during the daytime. And by having the printer back in the training office, even though it's right there next door, they can complete their work in a timely manner and get what documents that has to be faxed and sent and copied and everything, and certifications on employees, new employees, social security numbers. These are things that you don't want to send to another copying machine with someone else sitting in the room, because you don't want them to say, oh, okay, somebody's got a fax, and pick it up and then look down and get the information off of it. That is a lot of times classified information as far as the jail is concerned. So I would ask that you please consider giving us another printer to replace what we have.
Janice, do you have a total for what the printer would cost?
No, sir, I do not. I don't know if Mitchell, I know Mitchell has looked at it.
I'm speculating it's probably gonna be around somewhere between 300 and 400.
I was looking, I saw it was a color printer, and this is my IT side coming out here. Is a color printer actually necessary? Because color printers cost an extreme amount more than black and white copies. I remember, you know, when I used to work here, I'd look at some of the statements that would come in, and the cost per copy for color, even though you might print a third of the copies you print with black and white, but the cost would far exceed the black and white copies. So I guess my question is, I saw it's a color printer. Is it absolutely necessary that it be a color printer?
Well, with that being said, when they do the training and put together packets for training for the Criminal Justice Academy and things like that, we do like to have the pictures in color, the caption in color. You know, we do. It just dresses it up, and it makes a better presentation to who we're sending it to get this thing passed or whatever for our training.
One other question, not necessarily related to this particular printer, but in the material, you said that the multifunction is rarely accessible during business hours. Have you ever considered maybe getting a smaller one that you can put in a different office, or eliminating that one altogether if you could use a fax function with one of the other printers?
We don't have any, we're out of room. We don't have anywhere to put anything. That would be the only place that we can have a printer or a copier machine is in the judge's office. We absolutely have no room whatsoever to put anything anywhere else. We just don't have it.
And Mitchell, I'm gonna let you, I think this is what you sent, but I just want, is this what Mitchell sent to us for information on the, okay. Can you look at this just real quick so I can make my notes here? Sorry.
Yes.
So I'm gonna make the motion, okay? Make sure I'm correct on what I have here. And I will say I came by and checked out there today. And I jokingly, because the judge was there when I came in, and I said something about moving it out and he could get up and walk and pick up his, and that wasn't a good comment.
And I was in there trying to make copies in. He had finished what he had to do, but I had to wait till he finished to do that. It's just, we're just on top of each other.
Yeah, and you know, I know the space you're working with, because I've been in there. I guess, you know, I hate to see such a big, expensive device sit in a room that you can hardly use.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you may not have another option, so.
Any other questions for Ms. Janice? Thank you, Ms. Janice.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to purchase a Hewlett-Packard printer in the amount of $533.93 to be paid from contingency for the Saluda County Detention Center. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
I'd just like to say one of the comments that you made about the sensitive data that gets printed on this,
Yes,
that really helped sell me on it. Even though you have other printers pretty much within arm's reach of each
Right.
other, I think that's really the selling point for this one.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. This time we'll call for a vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes. At this time, we're going to award the accommodation tax funds. I'd like to entertain a motion to award the accommodation tax funds as follows. Capital City Lake Murray Country Regional Tourism Board, $1,000. Friends of Ridge Spring, $2,000. Palmetto Tractor Club, $2,000. Richmond Creek Antique Power Association, $2,000. Ridge Spring Harvest Festival, $2,000. Saluda County Historical Society, $2,000. Saluda County Chamber of Commerce, $1,000. Saluda Young Farmer and Agribusiness Association, $1,000. And Town of Ridge Spring Art Center, $2,000. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? This time I'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And the chairman votes yes also. All right, at this time, Saluda County Airport Commission appointment we have to make. So I'd like to entertain a motion to appoint William C. Rutland, 420 Hallman Road, Ward, to Saluda County Airport Commission with his first term expiring June 13th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this? All right. If not, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as the chairman, vote yes also. Just before I go to the next item, I'd like to mention there are people here that did come for to hear the litter presentation, and also there are people here concerning animal control. I did want to acknowledge you tonight, let you know that we do know you're here, and that as the county council, we are very much aware and concerned about animal control and the litter in our county. I myself have spoke with the sheriff on several occasions and other department heads, and we are working toward something in this manner. And did want to let you know that we do recognize you tonight. Thank you for being here. This time I'd like to make a motion for council to go to executive session pursuant to section 30-4-70A2 and 3 of the Saluda, Carolina Code of Laws, 1976, as amended to receive legal advice and discuss security measures in relation to EMS transport. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as the chairman, vote yes. We are in executive session. Thank you.